communication is definitely one of those things that makes us human. So you got to try to get good at it. And personally, whether you're writing an email or popping up a message on Instagram or writing a letter or a report for that matter, the key to communication to me is like being clear, and then behind that being succinct, just getting to the point. Hey, good morning. Thanks for joining me for a walk. Morning walk, episode 47. It's a steamy, humid, grey day here in Sydney, but it's going to clear up to an absolute cracking summer's day. Good to enjoy some of this before it gets a little bit too warm. Look at that. It looks like the roadway's kind of collapsed in some way on both sides. It's kind of dramatic. Just flew in last night from a pretty awesome long weekend with my wife in Melbourne, which was just spectacular. Chilling out on the banks of the Yarra, eating ice cream, going to shows. Oh, it was amazing. And then a little bit later this morning, jumping in the car and heading north to Newcastle, where I've got some meetings at the university up there, and hopefully going to film an episode of A Life That Travels, reviewing the University of Newcastle. So that's all happening today. Just had to stop by the office to grab a bit of my video gear before heading out this morning, because heading up to Newcastle, I'll need all of that gear in order to film the episode. It's kind of funny being in our building at night time. It's secure and everything, but it's still a bit weird when you open your own office and go in, you're like, whoa, a little bit early this morning. I'm also quite excited because this morning is the first morning after the Christmas break that my regular cafe, Ground Espresso, is going to be open again. So catch up with the owner, Mark, and have a bit of a chat, have a coffee to kick off the day. Yeah, it's like really the routine of the year is back in full swing from this morning. You know, some people kind of rave against routine, but I really like it. I think it's so important. Can't remember who the quote comes from, but it's an expression that, you know, routine in an intelligent man is a sign of ambition. I think that's very true. Our lives get overrun by so many details that if you really want to make the most out of things and, you know, get shit done, you've really got to have a routine in place, whether that's a routine in your personal life, you know, get to the gym 3-4 days a week, 5 days, whatever. Whether it's being part of a sort of organised club or association, whether it's at work, just making sure that you're effective at work. You know, getting yourself organised definitely means that you're going to make the most out of life. When we only get one of these things, you kind of want to make it count, don't you? Heaps of spiders out this morning, and I'm a little bit ashamed to admit that I did smash one. It kind of wasn't very cool, isn't it? You're kind of out on the walk. This is all about getting a bit of fresh air and nature and stuff like that. But yep, that was just the wrong spider in the wrong place at the wrong time. Got it in my face. Oh shit, not much fun. So that spider has been dispatched to the great web in the sky. Got plenty more this morning to make up for it, so probably shouldn't feel too guilty. It's actually nice down in Melbourne. Got to spend a little bit of time writing letters. I'm a big fan of the old handwritten letter, and I can tell you a story. Back when I was growing up, my grandmother, had a whole rack on the wall, just like rows of string at Christmas time, which got filled up with over 100 Christmas cards from her pen friends all around the world. I think growing up that had actually a remarkable impression on me. Now you can imagine you're sitting at the Christmas table looking up all those cards, and even as a young fella, I still understood that each one of those cards was a story and was a relationship of some sort that she'd actually built and fostered over time. It's actually incredibly impressive. It's definitely an art form that we've lost. But then when I went and did my semester student exchange program growing up, going over to England for 6 months, well, you know, I would call home, but of course I was going to write letters to my grandparents. And so I just kind of started this, I wouldn't call it an obsession, but definite passion for writing classical, handwritten, long form letters. It took me a long time to understand why. You know, and it's almost the same reason why I love this video thing, you know? Even though they seem to be completely different, but in fact, you know, a handwritten letter is basically like slow communication. I mean, I don't know if you've written a handwritten letter to somebody in a long time, but you sit down, it's like your brain processes as you go. It works slowly as you're writing one sentence. You're never more than like 1 or 2 sentences ahead. You've only just got like the next concept that you're working on in your brain and maybe a loose structure. So it's like this beautiful slow communication where things come out slowly and you have plenty of time to convey what you want to say. And there's the attention, you know, like the amount of effort that goes into creating that piece of work. And then we have video, right? Video, which is so fast. Literally, you know, these days we can pick up our phones, just like boom, and then like we've got a piece of content that we can then share super widely. So it's literally 2 sides of the same coin. Video, which is like fast, and then can be shared with, I don't know, thousands, millions of people. And a handwritten letter, which is super slow and is really just designed for one. 2 sides of the same coin. If you look back in your childhood, it's kind of hard to imagine all of the little things that end up having such a long-term impact on you. You know, those cards hanging on the wall at Christmas time, I'm sort of half wondering if that didn't give me my love of travel and make it like really resonate with me how important that was in life. Because they traveled a lot. Hong Kong and Indonesia and China, Japan, they went a lot of places, cruising all over the Pacific. And maybe somewhere deep down they just had this indelible impression that was just something that you had to do. So, you know, those cards hanging on the wall mean a lot. That's termites. Isn't that funny? You just have no idea what something is. Look, if you are a bug specialist and can help me and tell me what this thing is, put me in the comments below. I'd love to know. Just got off the bush track. I'm absolutely covered in spiders' webs. Oh, not much fun. You know, like it or not, communication is definitely one of those things that makes us human. So you got to try to get good at it. Personally, whether you're writing an email or popping up a message on Instagram or writing a letter or a report for that matter, the key to communication to me is like being clear, and then behind that being succinct, just getting to the point. Maybe that's one of the things that I'm super interested in with this little vlog project, right? Talking to you is trying to get my thoughts a little bit more concise and clear, whatever it is I'm trying to talk about on a given day, because I do tend to waffle. So thank you for bearing with me. Maybe outside of being concise and clear in communication, the only other thing is also to be fearless. I think a lot of us end up carrying way too much baggage in our lives because we're just afraid to tell the truth, or, you know, to talk fearlessly about how we feel about the things that are on our minds, whether it's in our work or in our personal lives. And in fact, that stuff accumulates, right? And it becomes like this blockage inside you that just makes it so much harder to live in the present tense and enjoy everything. So be fearless in your communication too. Oh, sweaty. Oh, Sydney summer. It is glorious. I'm gonna give you a shot of the sunrise over there. But damn, it's humid. Whoa, bunny! Oh, Pixie. There it goes. Bunny rabbit. Huh. Pixie dog. You almost got that one. She actually almost got that. And there was I paying out my dog earlier. And just for clarity, because communication is important, here in Australia, rabbits are pests. They were introduced back in the 1800s, and they basically wreak havoc on our natural environment, plants, animals. So they are pests. My dog will never catch one, but just so you know that it's not something that's cruel. And that's important to be clear, isn't it? So whatever you're getting up to today, I'll be super clear and tell you, I hope it's a good one. And I'll see you next time on the morning walk. Cheerio. Thanks for walking.